Hi, everybody. I'm Jeannie Rosner. Welcome to our 7th annual Renew, Recharge, Rejuvenate Yoga and Mindfulness Meditation Salon. Our first 5 years that we did this, it was in person, and it was really kind of one of my favorite salons. Just we all kind of get down and dirty and have fun. And last year we did it virtually, and this year we're doing it virtually as well, just based on circumstances. So I'm the founder behind Soul Food Salon. We hold monthly events. They've been virtual for the last few years. I have a website, soulfoodsalon.com. Take a look at it. Everything that we've done in the past is there available. Our mission is to educate and empower us all to be healthier. And we do that through these monthly events, as well as through a digital health and wellness newsletter that we call Soulful Insights. So for those that are not on my email list, please sign up to be on it. The more the merrier, the more the healthier. You can go again on my website, and at the top of every page, there's like a little click that you can add your email and share that with others. I'm pretty active on social media, mainly Instagram. Again, my hope is to inspire us all to live healthier lives. Follow along at Soul Food Salon, all one word, and spread the word with others. Every year I partner with a different nonprofit. This year I'm partnered with Fresh Approach, and we are helping to fund a mobile farmers market in the Redwood City location of California, kind of maybe 10 minutes from where I live. And it's bringing fresh seasonal produce to those in the at-need community. We've so far raised about $15,000, which is fabulous. And thank you to everyone that has donated. Thank you, grateful for that. And I would love it if those who want to continue or make a donation today or sometime in the future, that would be wonderful as well. You can go to my website, soulfoodsalon.com. The main page, the homepage, in the middle, there's a little blurb about Fresh Approach. And then there's a specific link that they created for our project with Soul Food Salon. So please make a donation. That would be just lovely. Our next event is on Tuesday, February 1st at 11 a.m. Pacific time with Dr. Brad Jacobs. He is an integrative medicine physician in the Bay Area, and he is going to be talking about menopause, menopausal symptoms, hormone replacement therapy, risks, benefits with hormone replacement therapy, alternative treatments, etc. It should be really eye-opening, and hopefully we'll glean some information on our own risk profile. So today I have the pleasure to introduce you all to Clia. Many of you already know her. Again, this is our 7th event. So Clia also does a lot of writing for me in the health and wellness space. She's just like the guru that I look to for guidance. She has written, she wrote recently an interesting soulful insight with the digital health and wellness email list that we do, all about Ayurveda, the new year in Ayurveda. So Clia is a yoga instructor, a life coach, and an Ayurvedic health counselor. She's been on this health and wellness journey with me, and now I'm happy to share her with you.
I don't know who's here, and so I'm going to lead the practice in a way that's accessible for everybody. If you are a regularly practicing yogini, you'll know how to challenge yourself or how to add to the poses. If you are one of my students, you're very familiar with how I teach, and so you'll know exactly what to do. And if you haven't been on your mat in a long time or ever, you will also be able to do this practice. I'm not going to use any props today because I never actually practice myself without props, but I wasn't sure who was going to be here. So I'm not going to use blocks or straps or blankets in any way for you all. What else can I say? So it's renew, recharge, rejuvenate, and renew, recharge to me are kind of the same. If you're renewing, you're also recharging, at least in my view of it. So we're going to create some space. We'll create space with our breath. We'll create space in the poses. We'll create space in between the poses where you can find that opportunity, those moments to renew and recharge. And then at the end, we'll feel rejuvenated. So let's go. I'm also not putting on any music. If you have your phone nearby, make sure it's not on or distracting you, but you could put on a nice Spotify yoga playlist if you want, but I didn't want to mess around with our sound quality. Okay, I think that's it. So find a comfortable seat. If you have something to sit on, all the better, but you don't need to. And I will just invite you to close your eyes or drop your gaze down and kind of space out. So just a soft gaze, and take a few breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. So let's get present here. Just breathe in and receive. Exhale and release. We've all had a morning so far that's probably been fairly full in one way or another. So let's allow those things to drop away and bring ourselves into presence on the mat. Maybe 1 or 2 more times. Inhale deeply through the nose, exhale nice and long through the mouth. And then take your breath in and out of your nose. And bring your attention to your internal landscape and see if perhaps there's a place that might need some unwinding or softening or a little space around it. Oftentimes that's our jaw. So you could separate your teeth and put your tongue either on the roof of your mouth or right inside your upper row of teeth. Sometimes it's our shoulders. We find our shoulders are shrugged up towards our ears, and you might want to just allow your shoulders to work their way down towards your hips. Or if you're holding in your belly or contracted in your chest, just allow some space and the breath to breathe out those tightnesses or tensions. And then in these next few breaths, just begin to notice the space, the pause, the little gap at the top of the inhale and at the bottom of the exhale. The breath comes in and there's a natural rest before the breath goes out. And again, that space or pause or rest at the bottom before the in-breath starts again. So let's take 5 breaths, and if you like, you can try to land your attention in those spaces. So inhaling, pause, exhaling, pause. And then bring your palms together and connect with your heart. So you could bring them into Anjali Mudra, Namaste pose, or maybe one palm over the top and the other palm, or one palm over your heart and the other palm on top. And bring to mind an intention. So many of you may have a resolution or an intention for the new year, or there might be something that you often call to mind in your yoga practice. And if you don't have an intention, maybe it could be to find the spaces in your breath, in the poses, to create that lovely renew, recharge we're going for today. And then take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, bow toward yourself in this pose of gratitude, and release your hand. Bring them behind your back, interlace your fingers, and keep your chin tucked towards your chest. So stretching through the back of the neck, opening your shoulders and chest. You may be able to pull your scapula together a little bit across your back. and keep your weight drop down. So if you're in lotus pose or cross-legged, keep your sit bones grounding down. If you're on your knees, drop your glutes, your sit bones onto your heels. Reach your hands down toward the floor and then arc your chin across your chest over to the left, inhaling, exhaling through the center, and inhaling over to the right. Exhaling to the center. One more time each side. I do a lot of warm up and kind of sequential movement in my practices, just to make sure that nobody jumps into any pose and will hurt themselves in any way in their neck or their back or their shoulders. So I do a lot of warming up. Lift your chin, drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Release your hands and reach your fingertips down toward the floor. So as the right ear is dropping down toward the right shoulder, you're reaching your fingertips down and creating a whole bunch of space to the side of your neck. Take a breath. And then come to the center and drop the left ear to the left shoulder as you particularly reach into the right fingertips. So you'll feel a nice stretch down the side of your neck here. Take a breath. And then inhale back to the center. And we're going to reach out and up with an in-breath. Flip your palms out and down with the out-breath. And again, inhaling, reaching up, maybe add a look up. You want a little bit more stretch. Palms out, reaching down, and start to engage the muscles in your arms. So really reach deeply, lengthen into your fingertips as you come up. Use your full breath and then flex your wrists. This is really great for counter pose, for being on the computer. One more time, inhaling up and exhaling down. And then take some nice big shoulder rolls. So make these as, tiny or as exaggerated as you need to. Start to feel into your shoulders. So part of the Rejuvenate is to be embodied. So as you're doing this, go the opposite direction now. Notice, how are my shoulders? How are the muscles of my arms? If you did a big workout yesterday, your biceps might be sore, and just attend to that through the practice today and take care of yourself. And then shake it out. And let's come to table. So on all fours, your knees will be right underneath your hips. Wrists underneath your shoulders. You might want to spread your fingers wide and face them even a little bit away from each other. That will pull your shoulder blades together across your back a little bit. And then tuck your chest, round your back, pull your belly button toward your spine. Exhale, this is cat pose. And then inhale, gaze forward, pull your shoulders back towards your rib cage, and let your tailbone reach up. So exhale, round. Inhale, come into cow. You don't need to do this exaggerated dropping of your spine here. You can just pull your shoulders back and let your tailbone reach up a little bit. And then bring your attention to your breath. So exhale to the end. Inhale all the way to the end. Maybe you notice the pause. So you can stay with this if this feels really good, or you can tuck your toes and exhale back into dolphin. Inhale forward, hover, drop your knees. Exhale back into closed knee child's pose. Surrender your head all the way down. So inhale fully forward. Exhale fully back. Inhale forward. Drop your knees. Exhale fully back. Surrender down toward the mat. Let's do that a couple times. So just adding a flow, or if you're in cat and cow, keep working on your cat and cow, or maybe bring yourself into child's pose. You can really notice the pause in your breath at the end of each part of this flow. And then next time you're in child's pose, stay there. So you can have closed knees, or you can take your knees to the edges of your mat and release your shoulders down. So onto the backs of your hands. Just let your shoulder blades move down away from each other toward the floor. Take 2 full breaths here. And then bring yourself back into table. And we're going to start to add some strength and some balance. Extend your left foot back. So just press into the ball of the foot here and let your left hip come down. Pull in your core like we did when we were doing cat. So you want to support your low back here. Pull your core in, shift to the left, extend the right hand, and lift the right leg up. So reaching into the fingertips and into the back of the foot, like you're pressing against a wall. Pull in your core. Reach, so strength and balance here. Take a breath, and then bring your hand down and bring your foot off to the right and gaze over the right shoulder. So you're going to lean to the left, look over your right shoulder at your foot. And as you're doing this, another option is to squeeze your inner thighs together here. So that's going to help support your low back to engage those inner thigh muscles. So you're just squeezing the thighs against each other, leaning to the left, looking over the right. And then come neutral, bring that left knee back underneath you and extend into the ball of the right foot. So set yourself up for success first. So press into the right foot, drop the right hip down, pull in your core, then lean off to the right, extend the left hand and lift the right leg. Remember to breathe. Take a smile. Smile down at your mat. So we're moving into a little, core and balance and strength here. So find some ease as the challenge increases. Hand down, foot off to the left, gaze to the left, lean to the right, and just find the spot where it feels really good. And then if you're like me and you have a crunchy, kind of quirky low back, squeeze your inner thighs together as you're in this pose. Feel the stretch maybe in that right side. Notice if you start to clench your jaw as we move into poses with more effort, and see if you can relax your face here. Make some space for your breath. And then bring yourself back into neutral. Bring the knee back underneath you. Tuck your toes, and we're going to lift the knees, press the hips back up in the air, downward facing dog, and just bend into one knee, bend into the other. Move in whatever way feels good here. Maybe move your head side to side, up and down. Sometimes I just take my feet off the mat and kind of paddle them around. And then find some stillness. So still your legs. You can keep a bend. Might feel better on your back and your hamstrings to have a bend. Don't worry about your heels. They're just heading toward the floor. Let your chest come towards your quads. Ears in between your shoulders. Let your head surrender down. Press into your palms. Reach your tailbone for the sky. Enjoy this nice resting pose. And then lift up high on the balls of your feet. Knees wide this time. Cross your toes over and settle down into a child's pose. So you can use child's pose at any time during the practice. I love child's pose. It's such a nice, it's fairly passive and restorative, but you're stretching everything, right? You're stretching your quads, you're kind of getting into your hips, your back. It's really a lovely pose. So feel free to drop into it at any point in the practice. So if your hands are behind you, bring them in front. Take your left hand off to the left, right palm on top, and drop the right shoulder down. So you're going to feel a nice big stretch through the right side body here. The more you drop your shoulder, armpit down toward the floor, the deeper you'll feel the stretch. Keep yourself centered in your low body. Sorry, guys, I have like a frog in my throat today. Breathe into the right rib cage. And then after that exhale, come to the center. And then right hand off to the right, left hand on top, drop the left shoulder, armpit down. Just have your head rest on the mat here. And breathe into your left rib cage. So space in the side body, right? Take another breath and then come to the center in your child's pose. Stay down in your child's pose. We live so forward in our front, obviously looking at things that are in front of us and just living this way. So to pay attention to our side body and our back in our yoga practice can sometimes translate to being able to do that off the mat. Okay, hands back, bring yourself back into tabletop, and let's stand on our knees. And because we're all working on stress reduction, we're going to really get into our hips now. So bring your right leg forward and keep your knee at or behind your ankle. Bring yourself down, and I usually do this with blocks. It's much easier. Tuck your back toes and let your back knee go as far back until you feel that nice stretch to the hip flexors. Some of you will want to tuck your toes and lift your back knee off the mat. That is fantastic. And then once you're set, inhale your arms up, widen through the shoulders, lift your chin, take your gaze forward. I'm getting some nice vitamin D here through my window. And keep your hips aligned. So don't sag into this. See if you can keep this right hip moving back. You'll feel your entire sort of hip girdle engaged when you do that. You may want to look up and take this into a little bit of a back bend, if that would feel good. If your back knee is off the ground and going to a back bend, that would really be quite a big expression of this pose. Everybody take another breath and then lower your hands. And we're going to shift back into a hamstring stretch. So just shift your hips back, flex this front foot, press your heel into the mat, and come on down. So if you don't feel it at all, you can slide your foot forward. You can move your knee back, kind of move yourself into more of a split. And here we're just folding over, chin to chest, soft shoulders. Feel it in the back of that right leg. The more you press the heel down and flex the foot, the more deeply you're going to feel this. And if you're gritting your teeth and clenching your jaw, just relax. Just relax. Smile at your little toes. And then if you're very engaged in a forward split, slide yourself back. Otherwise, just bring your hands to one side, swing your leg around, and come on up. Just take your knees a little wider and move your hips side to side, or do the hokey pokey here in between. I was actually reading an article recently in Yoga Journal about not doing huge counter poses. So like if you're in a big wheel or back bend, not to immediately curl your spine the other way, but to do something more neutral, which is kind of how I've always practiced. So it's very validating. Okay, left leg forward, releasing stress, getting into the hips. So again, set yourself up, be mindful of your knee. Okay, we're keeping it kind of in line with above our ankle. Send your back leg back or tuck your toes and lift your back knee if that feels better. Get yourself steady, and then inhale, reach up. Exhale, widen through the shoulders, lift the chin, smile. And then if you want to take yourself into a bigger version of this pose, go for it. Or if you want to back off a little bit, just shift your hips back, take a little bit of the pressure off the hip flexor here. Everybody breathe in and exhale. Right, let's do that again. Nice big breath in, and on the exhale, lower the hands, shift the hips back, hamstring stretch. This is my tighter hamstring, so I'm keeping a little bend in my knee, my front knee. And then surrender your upper body. So shoulders can relax, your head can come toward your shin. And so where's the space here in between the inhale, exhale? Maybe there's space here in the back of the leg. Maybe there's space in your neck as you surrender your head down, create a little space in the vertebrae of your neck and back. And then swing your leg around. Stand back on your knees and just move side to side or round and round. back into table when you're ready. And we're going to press into our next downward facing dog. So give yourself time to set yourself up. Knees underneath your hips. Make your arms nice and strong. Spread your fingers. Tuck your toes. Lift your hips. Drop your heels. Find your downward dog. And then bring your big toes to touch. We're going to do that I was kind of into the hamstring stretch there, so we're going to do another version of that. Toes to touch. Let your left leg come up halfway, just like we did when we were in table and we did that balance. Drop into the back of the right leg and just press the sole of the foot back. Drop the hip down. Really reach into the sole of that left foot. And if you want right here, you could come forward into a three-legged plank on the in-breath, and on the out-breath, push back and do that a couple times. Or you can lower the leg and start the other side. So if you're going plank, dog, just stick with it for a couple and switch when you're ready. Everybody else can press into the sole of the right foot, drop into the back of the left. We're eventually going to meet in mountain pose. So if you're going forward into plank, back into dog, you could add a little vinyasa and bring yourself into mountain. Everybody else, drop that right foot, step wide, lift your heels, bend your knees, and walk your hands back in between your feet. Maybe hold your elbows and just hover and hang, or you can let your hands release. Take a moment right here in our forward fold. And then we're going to slowly round up. So the very last thing to come up is your head. So no one gets dizzy, has a head rush. And then we'll all meet in mountain pose. So if you're doing a vinyasa, take your time to get there. Everyone standing in mountains, just feet underneath hips. Press down into the soles of your feet. Let's bring our palms into namaste. Lift your chin so gaze is forward. Close your eyes and just drop your weight into the soles of your feet. So soften. And feel the support of the earth here. Right. Okay, open your eyes, release your hands, inhale, reach up. And exhale, reach down, just as we did in the very beginning. If you want to take it behind your back and do a little extra, inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach down. We're going to do a little half sun salutation in the next one. So you'll reach up and then exhale, bend your knees, come forward into a forward fold, all the way to the end of the exhale. Inhale into a flat back, hands on shins, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. And so we'll do that again. This is a half sun salutation. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, either dive down or come through your center. I always practice to protect my low back. Inhale, halfway, hands on shins is great. Exhale, fold. And inhale, press the soles of your feet down. Come all the way up. And let's do that 2 more times. So you're just inhaling, reaching up. Exhaling, coming forward, bend your knees, protect your back if you need to. Inhaling, flat back. Exhaling, fold. And come up, and I am not going to talk for the final one. Just let you feel into it. Maybe close your eyes for this final one. Take a moment. And then step wide. So nice and wide. We're going to do a little bit of a warrior series because that's always rejuvenating, right? We find our inner warrior. So if you reach your arms out, your feet are about as wide, your ankles are about underneath your wrists, but you'll figure it out as we move into the pose where how you need to adjust. So let's take our let's come onto the right foot toward the top of the mat and bend the right leg. So again, be mindful that your knee doesn't come in front of your ankle. You're going to pull it back. So focus on the steadiness and the groundedness of your low body. So You're just rooting down, soles of the feet are on the ground. The more you can sort of pigeon toe and lean into your back arch, the more you're going to engage the muscles of this back leg. And then when you're ready, you'll reach out your arms and look down this front right hand, warrior two. Smile. Warriors can be tough. Warriors can also be soft. Warriors can smile. And then we're going to come into sun warrior, since I'm really enjoying the sun here. Drop your back hand, reach your front hand up. Oh, and enjoy a nice stretch through your side body. Maybe rebend a little deeply into your front knee. And right here, notice your balance. If you feel a little wobbly, that's some information you might need to know when we go into tree. Might need to find a wall later. And then come back to warrior two. And let's reach into side angle pose. So reach with this front hand toward the front of your mat. And you can either drop the hand to the mat. You can fold into your forearm. I have very tight, crazy shoulders right now, like the end of frozen shoulder. So I often practice with my hand on my hip. You can also take bicep to ear, come into a full side angle pose. Some of you might want to try a bind here where you reach through and then back with this top hand. I really can't demonstrate that. You know where you are if you want to try that. This is the one that I like. Forearm on quad, hand to hip. Just open your heart, open your chest, lift your chin. Enjoy the muscle energy being activated here. These are very much poses about strength, perseverance. Take one more breath, and then let's come back into warrior two. Nice. Hold your warrior two, and then straighten your leg. Face your feet in the same direction. Enjoy a nice breath. Maybe heel toe a little bit so your foundation is a little firmer. Bend your knees if you have a bad back or tight hamstrings. Otherwise, pull in your core and just come down halfway. So let your tailbone reach back. Maybe take the weight back a little bit until you find the floor. And then bend into one knee. And then start to bend the other knee. And we're going to glide side to side. So our hip and our butt are in the same plane here. And you're just gliding side to side and getting into these sort of inner thigh groin muscles. And add your breath. Inhale, center. Exhale, over. Shoulders away from the ears. So this pose requires a fair bit of effort, but you can soften down the sides of your neck and your upper back. Let's go 2 more times each side. Make sure you find your breath here. This is a great opportunity to just tune in with your breath. Let the breath lead the movement. And then come to the center. Again, heel toe. So we have a flat back right now. We're going to pull in our core, press into the soles of your feet, and use that pressing down to bring you up. And we'll do the other side. So left leg, come into warrior two legs. And again, find your foundation. So soles of the feet on the ground. And don't worry about alignment. Just what feels good, what makes you feel strong. And then extend your arms out. Look down that front hand. You can move your shoulder, you can keep your shoulders soft, arms strong. I always go different planes with my arms, so it's kind of fun to be on Zoom. I can check out and see what my arms are doing. And then reverse warrior, sun warrior, or a bind. So space through the side body. Space in your hips, all through the pelvic area. You're creating strength and you're creating space. And come back to warrior two. Take a moment and then reach into side angle. So really reach through your side body. And then the hand just so naturally comes down, or maybe comes here. Top bicep to ear, or hand to the waist. I like hand to the waist because for me, I can really focus on opening up my front body, and I can also think about, well, what are my shoulder blades doing? What's my scapula doing? Can I pull my core in and take the really exaggerated curve out of my low back? So I sort of like practicing like this. There's always benefits to each way that you pick. And when you're ready, back to warrior two. Hold it. And then straighten the leg. Face your feet in the same direction, heel toe, or jump. Come on in and shake it out. Nice job, you guys. Okay, gotta do some more balance because that's also really great for kind of rejuvenate, calming down our nervous system. So let's start on the left leg. Just bring your right knee up, and right now assess your balance. So do you want to find a wall so that you can get the benefits of the hips and the other parts of the pose and not be distracted by your balance, or you think you're okay? Gaze on the floor. And let's pull the knee up. So just reach over your shin, pull the knee into your chest, press into that left leg. So strong, straight, steady left leg. Widen across your shoulders, your chest. Oh, feels so good. And from here, you can reach down and find your ankle and bring yourself into tree pose. Or if that is not the pose for you today, let your foot come down to your shin. And you could stay here. Or you could come here. Oh, or you could reach up and out. So find your tree, find your breath. Strong, strong left leg, using the core, calming down your nervous system. Balance is so great. And then we have done a lot of warm up for this next pose. We're going to try warrior three. If you don't want to do it, you can come out of it and enjoy just the shaking out. Otherwise, bring your palms together, come into your center. Disengage this right foot and square your hips to the front. Press into the back of the right leg, straight left leg. Pull in your core and start to bend at the waist. We've done a lot of warm up for this warrior three. Press into the sole of the back foot and extend this pose in any way that you like. Reach your hands forward, reach your hands back. Maybe you're here. Pull your core in. Smile. And then bend your standing leg and come on out and shake it out. Nice. So, you know, we did a lot of prep to go into that warrior three to protect your low back and be able to stay in the balance. Okay, I've got this thing behind me. Let's do the other side. So strong right leg. And when you're ready, come on up. Set your gaze, set your core, and then you're going to pull this knee into the chest. So we're creating a little compression here. And when we release it, the blood flow will return. And that leads to healthy joints. So a little compression in the hip right now. And then whenever you're ready, reach down, find your foot, bring it to your inner thigh, or bring your foot down below your knee, to your shin. And then find the position for your hands that works for you in tree today. Find a wall maybe. Steady gaze. Couple breaths. So all of these poses are very basic yoga poses that can be modified in any way that you want. But you can do like 2 or 3 poses a day as your yoga practice. If you're a person like me who's always contemplative about improving her personal practice, 2 or 3 poses a day on a mat that's rolled out in a place you have to walk by every day is a practice. That's your practice. All right, we're going to do warrior 3. So we're just going to send this foot behind us. Straighten both legs, engage your core, press into the sole of that back foot. Strong, steady right leg. And just come down as far as you're able to go today. Maybe today you need a challenge, maybe today you need to back off. Find your breath. And then bend your standing leg. And come on out and shake it out. Nice job. Nice job, everyone. Okay. We are gonna go from mountain back into downward dog. So come to the top of your mat. If you're not there already. Inhale, reach up and look up. Exhale, fold over. Hold your forward fold. And when you're ready, step back into downward facing dog. So you'll bend your knees, plant your hands, and step back. Hold your downward dog. And notice, does this feel any different? Maybe it feels worse than your first dog. I hope not. I hope not. I hope you feel more space. Oh, I really do. And we're gonna move into, actually, no, we're not ready to pigeon pose. Okay, when you're ready, actually, if you wanna do a couple vinyasas right here, go for it. Otherwise, lift your heels and then come down into hands and knees, and then stand on your knees. And let's stretch out our upper back a little bit. So you can stay right here. If you want to come onto the tops of your feet, you can. You can tuck your toes and sit down on your heels for torture toe pose. Or if you want to come into hero, tops of the feet and sit down in between your ankles. So hero pose, torture toe pose, really is called that in yin, or just standing and relaxing. And let's take our arms into eagle. We're going to go left under right, interlace your forearms, palm to palm. Move your forearms away from your face, lift your chin. I'm going to reach up on the in-breath and down on the out-breath. So the more you move your forearms away from your face and the more you lift, inhale, lower, exhale, the bigger your stretch will be. So modify as needed. One more time, inhale, exhale, and then release, shake it out, and we'll do right under left and do the other side. So if you're in torture toe pose, keep your toes tucked. You can always take the weight off and sit back down. If you're in hero pose, enjoy that nice compression of the knees. Inhale and exhale. If you're standing here, maybe close your eyes. See how that shifts your balance. One more time. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach down and shake it out. So if you are in hero or toe pose, gently come forward, maybe lift your feet, tap the feet out. The rest of us are going to make our way to a comfortable seat. And let's release the hips before we go all the way down. So just bring your feet wide, knees up, lean back on your hands, and let's do a seated windshield wiper. So drop your knees to one side. Inhale, drop your knees to the other side. This is a really good pose to do in bed before you jump out of bed in the morning, just to wake your hips up. Do a little stretch on the outer hip IT band. And then find your breath too. Wonderful. And we're going to make our way to the floor. You can do it as a ab exercise and slowly roll down. Or you can just come all the way down. And once you get to the floor, be grateful. Just enjoy the floor. Enjoy the floor. Okay. Right myself up. All right, bring your heels towards your glutes and let's bring the left knee into the chest. Reach behind the left hamstring and then press the hamstring into your hand. So I'm really exaggerating here, but you're gonna press as firmly as you can your hamstring into your hands. Make sure your head and neck are lower on the ground. Flex this left foot and then straighten. And when you're pressing in, before you straighten, you'll have a little more access to the hamstring. You can stay here if you're working on kind of just deepening into the hamstring, or you could lift your head, neck, and shoulders and reach up, grab your foot and pull your shin towards your forehead. So that's an option. You can also straighten this right leg in any of these poses. So if you're here and you want to straighten it, or if you're here, stay here. Let's take 3 breaths, no matter where you are. Soft jaw, soft chest. And then bend your right knee if it's straight. Bring your right knee in and we're going to cross the left ankle over the right knee into a figure 4. So now you're reaching behind your right hamstring. And then lower your head, neck, and shoulders down. Flex both of your feet. Hips. More hips. So delicious. You can also hold over your shin here if that feels good. I like to hold behind my hamstring because I can lower my head down more easily. For me, just the way that I'm built. And let's roll a little to the left. Add a little core imbalance here. Take a big breath. Full inhale. Releasing exhale, come into the center and roll slightly to the right. Just feel the change in the pose as you move. Nice full breath in. Exhale out, come back to the center. And then bring your foot down and we'll do the other side. So left foot planted, right knee in. So remember, first really connect the hamstring with the back of the hands. Then flex and straighten. And then if you need more, you can straighten this left leg. And you can reach your hands up to your foot. So you decide where you are today. Do you need more? Do you need less? The rejuvenation is going to come not necessarily by pushing ourselves past our limit, but oftentimes I find that rejuvenation comes when I'm actually tuned in to what I need and I honor that. So today I kind of need to have this leg bent. 3 more breaths. After that 3rd breath, bring the left knee in, cross the right ankle over, and reach behind the hamstring or over the shin. Anyone who's got an achy low back from a lot of zooming and sitting, this hamstring work and hip work can be really helpful. Roll slightly to your left. Also, if you have a yoga strap, doing a whole bunch of opening through the hips and legs, low back with a yoga strap can also be super helpful. And then roll to your right. And then come center, lower both feet. Now I'm realizing we haven't done a twist and we need to have a little detox for our New Year practice. So if you have a practice, come into whatever form of the twist you want. Otherwise, open your arms out to the side and just let your shoulders disengage, palms open. Press into the soles of the feet, lift your hips slightly, move them to the right, and then drop your knees to the left. So when you do that, you're gonna have a nice line from top hip to bottom hip, and you can really expand through that right arm, look over your right shoulder. You can take the left hand, you're gonna gently press down on your top leg if you want to. You could reach your top leg straight for the floor. close your eyes and let your internal organs and your body do the detox. So just let the twist settle for 3 more breaths. And then to come out of the twist, bring your legs up, place your feet back down, realign your spine. Just take a moment, maybe kind of move your hips side to side or a little cat and cow, and just let your tailbone line back up with your neck. Okay, before you lift your hips, send them to the left and drop your knees over to the right. Gaze over the left shoulder. And when you get there, just close your eyes. Find your breath. And when you're ready, bring yourself back into neutral and choose a final pose you'd like to do before Shavasana. So a really nice one for hips and low back is to just bring the soles of your feet together, let your knees drop open, and maybe reach your arms overhead in a stretch or out to the side, or maybe some of you want to do a little bridge. If you feel we're definitely warmed up, you could do a bridge, or maybe a windshield wiper, the one that we did seated. You can take your feet to the edges of your mat and drop your knees to one side and the other. Nice, delicious way to unwind the hips. And from this final pose, we'll move into Shavasana, where we'll give an opportunity to find space in between our thoughts. So for Shavasana, if you have a sweatshirt or a sweater, grab that because you'll cool down. If you have any props that you like to use, set those up. Otherwise, just let your legs stretch out from your body, toes fall open, heels move slightly away from each other. I would say at least as wide as your hips. Let your arms float out from your sides, palms face up, pose of receptivity and openness. Gently close your eyes. Make any final movement so that you're fully comfortable and able to rest. And then allow your attention to rest in whatever space comes naturally for you with ease. So the space between the parts of the breath. Maybe notice some space in your side body, back body, front body that's opened in the practice. Or as you let your thoughts kind of settle into this pose of rest, there's space in between your thoughts and space in your mind. This is a reading from a book called I Am Her Tribe and poems by Daniel Dobie. I love her. And this one is great for the new year. 2 feet in. This year, I choose to burn my good candles on a Tuesday at noon, just because. I choose to use the expensive lotion, the one I keep tucked safe up on the counter, not ration any of my most cherished belongings because I am worth investing in right now. This year, I choose to wear that thing, you know, the one I told myself I would slip on when I looked a certain way. I choose to love my body, this vessel I have been given, and her seasons as they shift. This year, I give myself permission to change and keep changing, for I understand there is an underlying truth when it comes to becoming. It doesn't have to mirror anyone else. This year, I choose to let go, really let go of the heavy, of the half-hearted, No more forcing connection where it no longer lives. I choose to nourish what's willing to grow. This year, I choose to be grateful for the teachings of my yesterday, to honor my wholeness when I honor my whole story, even the shaky parts. This year, I choose to step forward, clear eyes, heart open, 2 feet grounded, palms wide to the all is possible, unknown, and new. So with your next breath, maybe deepen and lengthen both your in-breath and your out-breath, or wiggle your fingers or toes. Maybe gently move your head side to side. Just bringing in enough effort so that you can roll onto your favorite side. Bring your knees in. Just rest on your side. Eyes stay closed. And once you've given yourself some space to pause on your side, you can bring yourself to a comfortable seat and reconnect with your heart, palms on your heart, or palms together, touching your heart space. You could recall your intention from the beginning of the practice, or if you joined us afterwards and you want to set an intention or think of the one that you've been working with this year. And give yourself the gift of stating it in the positive and the present. So instead of I want to be calm, your intention is I am calm. I am peace. I am serenity. I am rest. State it in the present and positively. And then release your hands to your sides. Let's take a nice big inhale, reaching out and up, gathering in the light and love we create and we practice together. Seal that with your palms. Bring that into your heart space. And in doing so, bringing it into the heart of all the women here and all the women who are not here. Namaste.
Thank you, Clia. That was awesome.
Thanks, everyone. And the men. Sorry, women and the men and everybody. I'm just so used to saying women.
Happy New Year, everyone. I hope you have a nice, renewed, recharged, and rejuvenated year.
Bye.
Be well.
Be well.